Grab some popcorn and a favorite chair. The love of movies is why we're here. Press play and don't delay. Let's still be our guide to a cinematic day. Fill out the movies from the silver screen to his podcast stream. Phil's covering every movie dream. Fill out the movies. Fill out the movies.
Let's begin.
All right, so right off the top, Mickey 17 is wildly brilliant. Director Bong Joon-ho crafts a sci-fi spectacle that is larger than life while also poignant. It illuminates the challenges of technology and avarice while at the same time delivering a heartfelt note on the importance of basic decency and humanity. In short, I absolutely loved this film. I had the biggest smile on my face from start to finish. The director once again has shown he's still got it. This coming now almost 6 years after his Academy Award winning film Parasite. He has delivered, I believe, another masterpiece. And for me, this is the best kind of sci-fi because it hits close to home. The story may take place on a far-off planet, but what's going on with the characters in the film feels real, and there is a thread that seems relatable to what we are dealing with in our own world today. Now, for some, this may be perhaps a turnoff. I won't say that it's enough to derail the film, but I could see it being a divisive element, because this film does not shy away from critiquing and criticizing outright the greedy, technocratic, expendable approach to cultivating and dominating not only the Earth, but the stars across the galaxy. And there is a clear send-up and mockery of a lot of the public figures, if you will, that dominate our lives today. Now, putting all of that to the side, the film itself is a rocket-fueled blast that launches us into a world of regenerated bodies, insane cult-like leaders, and the importance of never losing one's basic humanity. Now, the main story itself centers on Mickey Barnes, played by Robert Pattinson, who, while on Earth, signs up for a human expedition to colonize a distant ice planet. As part of his mission, and what he unknowingly agrees to, is to become an expendable for the mission, meaning he gets to die over and over and over again. He is put through the rigor, subjecting himself to potential viruses, to mutilations, you name it. He gets the book thrown at him, all part of his job to sort of be a fail-safe to protect all of the other passengers on this mission before they begin the work of colonizing a new planet. Now, what happens when his body is reprinted, it is the same as it was before, memories and all. And this goes on for 17 iterations. And when Mickey 17 ends up surviving his brush with death, there is now double trouble as Mickey 18 is alive and printed. Worlds indeed collide, and this story becomes an exploration on humanity's rush to explore the stars while at the same time leaving the Earth as a rotting dump heap. Mickey 17 and Mickey 18, along with a fellow officer on the expedition, Nasha, played by Naomi Aki, embark on a hilarious and mutiny-filled mission to bring an end to this corrupt and backward project that is merely repeating the same mistakes that has doomed humanity on Earth. The film is hilarious. I mean, I found myself laughing not only at the antics of Mickey 17 and Mickey 18, because again, you're seeing Robert Pattinson play two versions of himself, but just the way this story is crafted, the way the characters interact while they're on this ship hurling towards this distant ice planet. And again, it's a 4-year trek, so again, everybody has to sort of get up close and personal. And at the helm, it is organized and run by this former congressman played by Mark Ruffalo. And his character, his name is Kenneth Marshall, and he's sort of like a cult leader, and his whole goal with this expedition is to repopulate this planet with a pure version of the human race. I mean, again, the politics and the nuances are right on the nose with this particular story beat, and I appreciate that. Like, again, there's no sort of little subtle dance going on here. It is right in your face with the sort of critique on a lot of modern day politics and sort of what's going on vis-a-vis the culture. Ruffalo may be the weaker link of the film. Not that it's necessarily a bad performance, but his character does sort of wear thin a little bit. That may also be by design. He's meant to be obnoxious. He's meant to be annoying. On the contrast, however, Toni Collette, who plays his wife, Gwen, she is a delight in this film. I mean, she's you know, pardon the expression, batshit insane, but she is always bringing it in any role that she plays. And I actually thought about it afterwards. It would have been more interesting, I think, if they had sort of swapped the roles, where if she was the ex-politician and the organizer, and Ruffalo was just the dutiful spouse. But nevertheless, that's sort of my only real issue with the film, is that Ruffalo kind of goes on a little too much with his character. But I do think that was by design. The real plus of this film, I mean, what makes the movie work, is Robert Pattinson. And it's a wonderful reminder that he is one of our greatest actors of all time. Full stop. This movie is a wonderful testament to his skills and versatility as a performer. And the way he's able to change his voice and create two distinct personalities off of what is supposed to be the same exact person, just a different variation, if you will, Mickey 17 versus Mickey 18, is nothing short of brilliance. I mean, I don't want to put the proverbial awards cart before the horse, but this is the type of performance that I could easily see being recognized at the Academy Awards later on next year. It is that good. And it's just a reminder that he is constantly bringing it as an actor. And there really is nothing he can't do. Again, I know, he sort of, there's the mockery of it, it's definitely died off now, but, sort of from his Twilight days to, of course, the real breakout where people saw him in a different light in Good Time. You then have, of course, him in The Batman. Now he's doing a lot of comedy and physical performance. It just shows he can do anything. And he really, he was what was the driving force for me behind this film. And he just exceeded all of my expectations. The movie works on so many different levels. It is a commentary, it is a satire, it is a big budget spectacle. It feels larger than life. We're transported to another planet. You've got alien-like creatures going around. You've got incredible details on the ship that's carrying there, the technology, the details, the specific designs. It's all organic and fresh and real, and it just sort of comes to life. And as I mentioned at the start, we're sort of dealing with a lot of this stuff in our own life about AI and the rush with technology and all these advancements. And the movie sort of bottles that all up together and shakes it up and then puts it all in front of us for, sort of like our own dissection of the material. And I think ultimately what I walked away from this film saying, the real story is a reminder of our basic humanity. And that's really driven home with the constructs of both Mickey and Mickey 17 and Mickey 18. They both are the same person, but they have different personality traits, if you will, and Mickey 17 is much more sort of sensitive and aware of his surroundings, whereas Mickey 18 almost is sort of like a battle-scarred veteran by the end of it, where he's just sort of, devil may care, throw in the towel, nothing else matters. And I love that contrast, because ultimately the way the story does work out, there is that rediscovery of sort of the basic humanity that exists within all of us. And I just found myself, just cheering by the end of it, and just enamored by this imaginative world that director Bong Joon-ho created for us. And I know it's based on a book, but just the visuals in this film are some of the best that I have seen in years. And I know I'm going to be revisiting this film many times ahead. It will not be for everybody. I can acknowledge that, because, like I said, it might be a little more on the divisive side with sort of the social commentary, social and political commentary. But if you look at it, that's what the whole movie is getting at. It's not trying to be subtle. It is all right there, and you sort of take it all in, and if you can enjoy it, you'll have a great, hilarious time with it. And it does make you think. It really doesn't. It's not one of these movies where it's just sort of simple popcorn fare. You ultimately are left with something to chew on afterwards. And if nothing else, the performance by Robert Pattinson, or the performances, I should say, by Robert Pattinson, make it all worthwhile. And I really like how at the end of the film, this is not a spoiler, but I like how at the end of the film, this emphasis on Mickey 17, Mickey 18, sort of this indistinguishable way of acknowledging someone ultimately goes out the window, and we get back to that basic human decency, our basic humanity, where we see each other not as numbers but as individuals. And that's, I think, a real powerful note for the film to end on, particularly in this world of ever-changing technology and advances. This movie really does remind us of just who we are and what we can always be. And a perfect way to end this episode. Go check out Mickey 17. It opens nationwide today. Support these kind of original, weird, out-of-the-box films. It's how we keep the film industry alive and well. And in the words of now Academy Award-winning director Sean Baker, go and support your local movie theater. Because as I often say, who the hell wants to watch a movie on your phone screen? Certainly a movie like Mickey 17 deserves and should be seen on the biggest screen imaginable. But that does it for me today, everybody. I'll be back next week, and we'll do this all over again for the love of movies.
Still at the movies makes every movie a treat.